Week 10 college football picks about to come at you. Not a lot of plays this week. Smallest card yet. Traditionally, I am a volume better, but like I said, I only bet when I have an edge, and this week I just don't have that much in terms of an edge on a lot of games. That means two things. It means that the lines are getting sharper, yes, that's true, and it also means it's just the plays just aren't meeting enough of the key criteria. There's a lot of plays this week where it met most of the key criteria, but not all, so I had to pass on them. But there's a lot of plays that are close, so we'll have to see how line movement reacts with those games that are on the edge. So let's get started. First up, we have the Thursday game between Georgia Southern and Appalachian State. Appalachian State at home. My system projects about an 18 to 19 point win for the Mountaineers. So a good play at minus 15, but beware, at 15.5, it's no longer a play for me, so I grab it at 15, so get it while it's hot. Then we have NC State and Wake Forest. Wake Forest minus 7.5 at home. They're the play. My system says by about 10 to 11 for Wake Forest, which sounds about right. They're good up to 8, so you can deal with another half point of movement for them. But they have to get down to 233 to be a money line play. Troy, Coastal Carolina. Don't really know what to think about this one. Both teams have been pretty inconsistent this year. Coastal Carolina is a small 1-point underdog, but my system likes them because my system thinks Coastal wins outright, so the wrong team is favored here. Even though my system says ATS and moneyline for Coastal, it's the same thing, so I wouldn't play it twice. I would just pick one or the other and make the play. I picked the +1, so in case you're wondering what I was doing. But Coastal is only good up to minus 116, so they too are on the edge. Pitt and Georgia Tech, I think this is the biggest moneyline shot of the week. Even though my system projects a Pitt win by 9, so covering the spread, my system also likes Georgia Tech on the money line. There is some value for Georgia Tech at plus 255, but beware, they're only good up to plus 249, so they're almost a non-play. You're probably wondering, how can one team be favored on the money line and the other team be favored against the spread? Well, it's two different types of calculations, so both can be true. It's happened. It's been a while since that happened, but I'm playing Georgia Tech here. For either team to be a play against the spread, the line would have to move a lot. I don't see it happening. Nebraska and Purdue, talk about two teams that just have no idea what they're doing right now. Purdue looked terrible in their last game, and Nebraska keeps losing. But my model likes Purdue at home here. They think Purdue is an outright winner, even though they're underdogs. So I know Purdue's look really bad, and I don't really like this play myself, but Nebraska has looked bad too. So maybe this is just one of those plays where the odds makers are shading it, knowing Nebraska's going to get all the money. But my model likes Purdue here all the way down to 1. So even if the line moves away from them, there's still a good play down to 1. To be a money line play, they need to hit 150, so that could be a play as well. But right now, just a spread play at +3 for Purdue. Akron and Bowling Green. So I'm going to say no UMass play this week, thank God. But Akron is nearly as bad as UMass, and they lost to UMass. But even though my model thinks UMass is a worse team, Akron's sliding into the role this week as the play. And I checked on this. When I saw Akron being the money line play here, I was like, okay, really? And I checked it, and everything checked out. So they are the play at plus 190 this week. I don't like it myself, but Bowling Green's bad. Maybe Akron can find a way to get this one. My system thinks Bowling Green wins by about 3. So this is definitely a toilet bowl, so to speak. And Akron is good down to plus 131. Buffalo and Eastern Michigan, this is a pick'em, and we like Eastern Michigan here. So I played Eastern last week at both +4 and the money line, and they lost in overtime, so it almost happened. So I like them at home here. My system says by about 1 to 2 for Eastern, so a good play. You can play the spread or money line, it's the same exact thing. Eastern is good to minus 145. Virginia Tech and Notre Dame. Now, Notre Dame's coming off a very demoralizing loss, so I'm not quite sure what to think about this one. 17.5 is a big number, but maybe they use this as a way to vent out their frustrations. Who knows? My model thinks Notre Dame wins between 18 and 23, so at minus 17.5 it does see the value, but barely. If they go to 18, they're no longer a play, so get it now. Now, I don't really like this one, but Virginia Tech isn't that good, and Notre Dame, we'll see. Colorado, UCLA. UCLA is playing a lot better, so I'm riding them this week on the money line. Minus 250 is a lot to lay with them, and I have lost on UCLA already this year at a minus 220 favorite, so I'm doing it again, but I like this one. They're playing a lot better, more confidence. It looks like they've figured things out on offense. Colorado just isn't that good, and UCLA is good all the way up to minus 275. Projects about a 9-point win for the Bruins here. Two teams coming off big wins for their programs in the past week. Kansas State with that big win over Oklahoma, and Kansas beating Texas Tech. Both are big wins, so one team is going to keep that momentum going and the other one is not. But my system is not sold on Kansas still. Played against them last week and paid for that with that Texas Tech lateral to nobody. But I did play Kansas State last week and they not only covered, but they won outright. So we're riding with Kansas State again this week. This is the only double play of the week, both spread and money line for K-State. They're good all the way up to minus 8.5, and they're good all the way up to minus 274 on the money line. Not quite sure how I feel about this one. Yes, Kansas is better. They're playing better, but I think their magic disappears this week. Biggest game of the week in terms of rankings, we got Georgia and Florida, neutral site, Jacksonville. It's going to be a good one, I think. Georgia's favored by 6.5, but my model thinks on the blender it's an even game and Georgia by 6 on the ATM for a combo of 27-24 in favor of Georgia. So the 6.5, at least according to my model, is valuable here for Florida. But be careful, they're only good at 6.5. If they move to 6, Florida is no longer the play. For Florida to be a money line play, they got to get to 233. I don't see it happening. But at 6.5 right now, Florida is the play. I think that 27-24 sounds right. Florida Atlantic and Kentucky. Now, my model really likes Florida Atlantic. They think they're a good team, the best team in Conference USA. So I was surprised that they're underdogs here. The blender likes Florida Atlantic by 5, although the ATM likes Western by 1. So a combo of 2. So I still think the wrong team is favored here. Florida Atlantic plus 1.5, but Western Kentucky, they're playing pretty well too. They lost a heartbreaker last week at Marshall, but I'm riding with Florida Atlantic here. Plus 1.5, but if they move to 1, they're no longer the play. If they get up to 111, they'll be a money line play as well. But right now, Florida Atlantic plus 1.5. And finally, I got the Hawaii game again this week, so I'll be staying up late. Fresno State, they looked terrible last week at home against Colorado State. They lost by 10 in a game they were favored by 14.5 in, so that was pretty embarrassing. And I don't like playing road teams on the island in Hawaii, but my model likes Fresno here. It sees this as an even game, 36-36. Fresno State slightly on the combo, so the wrong team favored here. But Fresno State at plus 2 is not the play because the blender isn't there, but they are there on the money line. So Fresno State plus 110, and they are good all the way down to 100. And we got a lot of no plays this week, but there's a lot of teams that are close, like Baylor, they're close. If they get to 17.5, they'll be a play. UMass, unfortunately, they're close too. I'm wondering if I should veto that one, though. Old Dominion, kind of close. Houston, Maryland, South Carolina, Northern Illinois, UNLV, Air Force, and Tennessee, as well as Boise State, are all within range. Actually, I played Northern Illinois, so what I do is I run my model, I make my plays, and then I make the spreadsheet in the video. So I actually grabbed Northern Illinois at -1, but for accountability purposes, for the sake of this video, I'm not going to count them until they get back there. But I did personally get them at -1, but the line moved. And then money lines that are close. North Carolina. No, I got North Carolina on reduced juice line, but these videos do not use reduced juice lines, so that's why I do not have North Carolina as a play for this video. But I did personally grab them at reduced juice at -130. USC is close. Oklahoma State is close, and Washington is almost there. So a lot of almost plays that might be added over the next few days, so keep those in mind. So here's page 1, here's page 2. So here are the plays this week. As you can see, not a lot. 8 against the spread, 6 on the money line, but the good news here is that we can raise our unit sizes. I'm rolling with 1.15 base unit size this week on both spread and money line bets, so if we can do well this week, we'll be paid off by the higher unit sizes. So you're really going to want to check my Twitter account this week, though, at WCLEISS, because I am certain I will be adding some more plays between now and Saturday, so keep an eye on that. But this is what we're starting off with this week. Let's hope that we can have a good one. Like I said, I'm feeling good about the spread bets, and we'll see on the money line, but the spread ones, I do feel good about those. So I will see you on Sunday for the recap for week 10, and also I have hit 500 subscribers, so I have a special video coming out for that within a couple weeks. I got something planned for that. Until Sunday, this is Sports Betting Truth signing off.